9:33, the experiment. 9:33, the experiment with Rich Herrera. The 9:33 experiment. 9:33.
All right, that's time for the 9:33 experiment, the debut of a new feature here at Richmond's Morning News. We open up the phone lines to you, to we the people. We pick one big subject, we discuss it. We're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and we'll take your telephone calls, your text messages, 833-411. Right now, the United States is in Switzerland negotiating with the Iranians. Okay? I don't want to see more killing. I don't want to see more bombs. I don't want to see more bullets. I want to see people around the world. I want safety. I want the free flow of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. I don't want to see people being held hostage by high gas prices, high oil prices. I don't want to see any of that. I don't think anybody does. Or do they? Or do they? Okay, let's walk through this right now. And again, phone lines are open for you. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. Right now, the United States is in there and they're negotiating with the Iranians. J.D. Vance, you've got Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and you've got Jared Kushner. They're all in there right now negotiating with the Iranians. They negotiated last 2 days into the night. The Iranians say, listen, we will let you bring in the International Atomic Energy Commission people to look through and monitor what we're doing. That's what they say now. Did they do it before? No. Do they have secret places where they were enriching uranium? Yeah. Were they ever abiding by the rules? No. Have they ever, in good faith, signatories abiding to any rules? No. Then why are you negotiating with them right now? And if Donald Trump goes through with this and he gets an agreement, what is that agreement worth? Number for you to join us, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. We call this the experiment because I'm not sure what's going to happen. You don't know what the topics are going to be every day, and you're not really sure. I'm not really sure what response we're going to get from people. But said this, and I say it every day, we, the people, need to speak up. Lawmakers listen, people listen. So here we go. 833-804-1140. Do you trust the Iranians to follow through with whatever you negotiate? And if you don't, then why are we there? And what is the exit out of all of this? You broke it, you bought it. Right now, you're kind of half in, half out on whether you're going to see the Iranian nuclear program go away forever. 833-804-1140. We'll go start with Walt on line one. Walt, welcome. You're on News Radio WRVA. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers.
Thank you.
My basic thing is you got to know who you're dealing with and negotiating with, because you got the Revolutionary Guard doing this. I don't know what title they have, Prime Minister, whatever. So who are you really dealing with? And the ones that you're dealing with, are they going to uphold it? First, and you know there's always good and bad and everything. But they haven't really honored pretty much anything they've ever claimed they was going to do. So
how do you know that? So if we don't think, if we have zero confidence that they're going to keep up their end of the bargain, is this a waste of time? Is this political? Is this posturing? What is this then?
It's probably a little bit of all that, but it also should be shown that there is good faith in attempting to make a deal for what it's worth, or memorandum. Is it a memorandum of understanding?
MOU, memo of understanding. Yeah.
So I guess you got to put the good faithful foot forward to show that you're willing to negotiate, and then go from there.
All right, Walt, thank you.
Thank you guys for what y'all would do. Let me get off the phone so you can talk to somebody else, and I will listen. Appreciate you. Love you guys.
Thank you so much. That opens up a phone line for you, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. He makes a great point. I think the United States would negotiate in good faith. I really do think that J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner are there trying to find a way to end this thing. Do I believe the Iranians are going to negotiate in good faith? Not really. I'm sorry, but I really don't, because there's so much more that goes into this. Do they want to keep their terror proxies? Do they want to keep Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis all armed and well fed with guns and ammo and missiles that they can fire at Israel in the West? Do they want to? If they said, okay, listen, we're good with giving up the Strait of Hormuz, we'll stop trying to block the traffic. I think one of the big problems that you have with these negotiations right now is simply who is actually in charge. Who are you negotiating with? Are you negotiating with the IRGC that control everything, the secret police, the military, all the rest? Are you dealing with the mullahs? Or are you dealing with the politicians elected? The president of Iran has already left, said, I'm done. I can't do this. Walked out, quit. So who are you negotiating with? And I'm sorry, they've never, ever, ever shown that they're going to follow through on what they say. Even in the middle of this, the IRGC says the other day said, oh, we've closed the Strait of Hormuz. By the way, you've never closed the Strait of Hormuz. They couldn't get insurance to cover anybody going through the Strait of Hormuz. So as far as you saying, oh, yeah, you have no Navy, you can't block the Strait of Hormuz. You do have some of your proxies that'll fire on shipping in there, but that's not you controlling the Strait of Hormuz. So you're not even honest when you're talking about any of this. Again, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140, the number for you to call into the program. Dave's in there frantically screening all the calls. Let's go to Reed on line 2. Reed, welcome. You're on News Radio WRVA. Welcome to the experiment. What are your thoughts? Can you trust the Iranians to follow through if we come up with a deal that actually means something past the 60-day ceasefire and the MOU?
Good morning. I would just like to say that the president has already said that Iran is going to behave or he's going to bomb. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I think if J.D. Vance becomes president, he'll follow right through with the same situation.
What happens if J.D. Vance doesn't become president?
I have no doubt he's going to be the next president.
Okay, but just let's assume somebody else is president. What happens if the Democrats come through?
If they win, they're going to turn the country loose. There won't be anywhere to live in this country. We'll have to all leave.
Well, okay. I hear that all the time. Where would you go?
Where would I go?
Yeah.
I don't have an idea, but I'm 78 years old. I probably won't be around to see it.
Well, I'm not leaving. Ronald Reagan said this is the last best hope of the American people. Reed, I love you, but I don't like that kind of talk like I'm just going to leave. No, we have to fight for this country.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the call. So here's the other part to throw out there as well. When we're walking through all of this. Let's assume that Kamala Harris becomes president. Crazy talk here, right? Kamala Harris becomes president. What happens next?
Johnny.
You have this negotiation that isn't worth the paper that's printed on, and you have Democrats that will take you in a different direction. The president is at a point right now that you either have to completely eviscerate their nuke program, or you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe J.D. Vance becomes president. Maybe it's Marco Rubio. Maybe it's AOC. Who knows? But at this moment in time, you have an opportunity to take the nukes off the board for Iran, which makes the entire world a safer place to live. 833-804-1140. We're calling this experiment. I have no idea what's going to go on. I have no idea what people are going to say. I'm going to go to Johnny on line 1. Johnny, welcome. You're on News Radio WRVA.
All right. Hello. How you doing?
What's up, Johnny?
I was just going to say that U.S. has no business negotiating with terrorists. Iran, the best that we could probably come out of this thing with is the same thing Obama had. So what's that gain us? Number two, just as soon as the midterms come around, Trump has no more leverage. I mean, you can negotiate this thing. Iran's just got to wait out a couple of years or whatever. They do anything they want to. They're in power for the next 40 years. They do anything they want to.
Johnny,
They're winning this war.
Johnny, they're not winning the war, Johnny. How do you say they're winning the war?
Because we're negotiating a peace treaty with them,
Right.
and they're the ones that are making the demands.
Right.
So
I can make all the
how
demands.
do we win?
I can make all the demands I want, but again, go back to this. Listen, there's two different cultures that go on here, Johnny. There's the West, and then there's their culture. And their culture, I've kind of explained this before. We mirror. We think everybody thinks like we do when we come to these things. They don't. So, Johnny, if you and I were standing there and we were about to throw down into a fist fight, and I go, Johnny, you know what? Hold on. Do we really need to do this? Would you think I was a good guy, or would you think I was weak?
I'd probably be thankful. I don't
Right.
really
Okay.
like
So that's
fighting.
right. So that's how we are. In that culture, if you show any thought of like, hey, maybe we don't need to do this, they look at that as weakness and they pounce on that. They think, oh, look, they're afraid to have this fight. That's why Donald Trump reminded their delegation, hey, listen, you guys mess around, find out what's going to happen next. They go, oh, he's threatening us. We'll all walk out. I'm like, yeah, we will. The first time, there was a story in the first administration that Trump was negotiating. I think it was with the Taliban, and I think this is factual. I've read enough places where he pulls out a picture and he goes, "This is your house. If you hurt the hair on one American, we know where your house is, and you know what's going to happen next." Got up and walked out of the room. That's the way people in non-Western countries understand power. So let's go back to this, Johnny. The idea that they're winning right now. In what way are they winning this war with the United States?
Hey, go back to that point you just made about Trump threatening them.
Mm-hmm.
You hurt one hair on one of our soldiers.
That was with the
You're
Taliban,
dead,
not
right?
the Iranians.
Oh, okay, same sort of thing, right?
Right.
I mean, similar. But look, what happened just as soon as Trump left office?
Bingo.
Huh?
Well,
Biden
you
came in office,
right there.
And what
It-
did they,
exactly.
What did they do? They killed 13 soldiers, right?
Well, they gave him
What
no.
did
That was Biden. But they gave him.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, Obama
That's
gave him
the
pallets
same
of
thing.
cash.
The same thing's going to happen again. As soon as Trump leaves office, what's going to happen? What we doing?
What do you
We
think?
need to go in there.
Okay.
We need to take them out completely. I don't care. I mean, I hate for Iranian people, but they are the enemy. They are the enemy.
What
They
about
live in
putting?
that country.
Okay, so
They
Johnny,
vote for that crap.
Johnny,
They
let me,
put up
Johnny,
with
hold on,
crap.
Johnny. Let's talk this through. So you're willing to put American lives in danger. You're willing to commit the full forces of the United States. Are you willing to commit boots on the ground in order to make that happen? Because you can't just bomb them into giving up. You actually have to have boots on the ground if you want to go take out their nukes and get that enriched uranium. Are you willing to put in the United States Marine Expeditionary Force, followed by the Army, Navy SEALs, and have boots on the ground in Iran?
This is what I want to do. I want to take out all their power grid. I want to take out all their oil.
Okay.
I want them to be back in the Stone Ages
But-
and let them figure it out.
Johnny,
And then that'll be it.
but Johnny,
that's
you didn't answer my question.
Wait.
You didn't answer my question.
Okay.
Are you willing to put
All right.
boots on the ground in Tehran and in Fordo and all their nuclear places? Are you willing to commit U.S. troops on the ground with Marines and soldiers actually occupying Iran to go take out all the nuclear material?
No, I would not put boots on the ground.
Okay, then you
We
can't.
don't need to put
Then
boots
you
on
can't.
the ground.
Then you can't follow through with that. Then
We just blow up every power plant,
correct.
every water treatment plant, every factory, everything they have, blow it up.
So how does that How does that take out their nukes though?
How they going to make a nuke when they ain't got power? They ain't got power. They ain't got water. They ain't got
they'll just
they
hold
can
on
do
and
it.
they'll rebuild. See, that's this quandary that we're in right now. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. A lot of people say, yes, go ahead, finish the job. Go get those nukes. Go get all that material. Take it out of there. And by the way, I got time for a couple more phone calls. 833-804-1140. We're something brand new, the experiment. hearing what people actually really have to say. But here's where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. There are hardliners that are never going to stop. They're never going to quit. They're never going to give up. They are dead enders. That's part of this theocracy they have of wanting to fight and destroy the big Satan and the little Satan. That means they're not going to negotiate. The hardliners, the mullahs, are never going to say, well, you know what? All these people, they don't have power. They don't have this. They don't have that. They're not there for the people. They're there for the theocracy. So I don't know, and I don't really think you can bomb them into submission. You can defeat them. You could take out their Navy, their Air Force, everything else. But in order to get them to give up that nuclear material, that dust that they call it, you have to have somebody go in there and take it. They're not going to just hand it over to you here. And if they do, how do you know they handed it all over? You need to have somebody standing in there taking that material. And that's why, if you don't like these negotiations, and I don't, but are you willing to see U.S. troops finish the job if you really want to make sure you take everything out? Or do you ride this through to negotiate? That's what the president's trying to figure out right now. Because he's already said it. He's already laid that card on the table for the American people. We don't have the stomach to have someone put boots on the ground. Nobody wants to see their kids and their grandkids and your neighbors and moms and dads go fight in the Middle East anymore. There's a whole generation, my generation, Gen X, said, listen to what we did. Look at all the people that we lost in Iran, all the people we lost in Afghanistan, Iraq and Afghanistan. I don't want to have a repeat of that coming up here in Iran. Let me wrap up with Don real quick. We just got a minute here. Don, welcome. You're on The Experiment on News Radio WRVA.
Yeah, good morning, Rich. My question is, I know we got Qatar and Pakistan in negotiations, but Iran bombed all their neighbors. Why are we carrying the load? Why aren't they more involved?
That's a great question. That's where those Abraham Accords, where Donald Trump is trying to bring all of those countries together, they've all turned on Iran. But the one reason none of them stand up to Iran is they're afraid of the IRGC. They're afraid of Hamas. They're afraid of Hezbollah. They're afraid of the Houthis, because Iran will fund all these terrorist proxies, and Jordan's afraid of all of these people. Saudi Arabia is afraid of all of these terrorists. That's why they're able to be the bully in the Middle East, because of all their terror proxies. And that's the one thing that, if we're going to get this thing settled, the terror proxies have to be taken care of.
Well, like in school, you get 8 kids who've been bullied, all gang up on that one bully. Bully doesn't seem to be a bully anymore.
No, but you also need to have NATO, Great Britain, France, and the rest of your NATO alliance to be right there with you. And maybe if you see that I tried to negotiate with Iran, I'm going to let you go, Don. Thanks for the call. You tried to negotiate with Iran. They wanted nothing to do with it. Maybe that's enough to say, okay, listen, we just can't let them have a bomb. We just can't let them have a bomb. Hey, you know what? First edition of the 933 Experience. Phone lines are jammed up. You got to call in a little bit earlier. Was pretty good. Thank you guys very much. That's going to do it for the program for today as well.